What's up guys, it's your boy Ravner, and today I'm going to be giving my opinions on the Caves and Cliffs update snapshots from approximately 2020 week 51, and I'll also be giving my opinions on other parts of the update. So let's get right into it. Okay guys, so now I'm going to be looking through the Minecraft features that have been revealed for 1.17 and giving my thoughts on them. So the first, of course, being the Warden. I think this is a very interesting mob, and I really like the features that come along with it. Yeah, I think it's a really cool looking mob. I really like how it's shaped, and the whole vibrations thing is very interesting. The cave it comes in is also very cool, like the blocks that the cave is made out of, and obviously there are some grassy sort of blocks at the bottom. Next we have the cave biomes, so lush caves of course. I think these are very interesting. I really like the moss blocks. Hopefully they'll just be able to replace grass, because they're just grass but all the way around. I really like the berries that grow on the sort of vines. I think they look really cool. And the parkour toadstools that grow up on the vines. I think they look really cool and will definitely improve another part of the game. So yeah, I also like the little plants, the new trees that are involved. I think it's really cool. Obviously we've got the dripstone caves. I think they look very cool. I really like the whole lava thing, and I think it looks really interesting. Obviously the cave generation has improved a lot, and I think it looks pretty good. It definitely has more room in it, and I really like how you can just fly through it, or even go on a boat down it with the waterfall. There'll also be improved mountain generation, along with goats and powdered snow. Goats are very interesting, and I think if they have a good purpose, they will definitely be a very useful mob. Maybe they can drop a horn. I think that was revealed in the Bedrock snapshot. So that's very interesting, and obviously mountain generation really needs an update. Obviously next we have the amethyst geodes. Hopefully we can get some more types of them. As well as the amethyst geodes, we can maybe have a ruby geode, or I don't know, we can't have a diamond geode, but some other type of geode, which I think should be really interesting. Obviously copper, I really like this block. It's got a lot of uses, and hopefully if it's common enough and it's not too expensive, then this will be a very interesting looking block, especially with the new things involved with that. So yeah, also axolotls, one of my favourites. They're so cute and so nice, and even though they have very limited use, I think they are very cool. Other than those things, some other things that are being added are, of course, from a mob vote. We got the glow squid. I think this is a very interesting mob, and something that I'm pretty excited is being added. I didn't vote because I don't have Twitter, but I think it's pretty interesting. And finally we have archaeology. It's not entirely sure what exactly is going on with it at the moment, but I think it's got quite a lot of potential and could definitely be used pretty interestingly. Be added, and I think this has so many different things that would be really interesting for all of this. So yeah, thank you. Let's get right into going into the things that have been revealed in the snapshots. Okay guys, so these are pretty much everything that has been added in the 1.17 snapshots so far. I believe right now I am on snapshot year 2020, and it's the 51st week. So this is the last one of the year 2020. So let's get right into it. So this is the dripstone block, and it has the dripstone stalactites on top of it. So the dripstone block, I think that's pretty cool. It's got a pretty cool detail to it. I quite like the texture, and it kind of looks like rotting bone in a way. And then we have the stalactites themselves. So there's the first layer. So if I turn on F3, as you can see, a pointed dripstone. And if I go over here, this is so as you can see on the side, on the left, I'll probably zoom in. This is the thickness, this is the tip, And if I go to the slightly bigger one, this is the frustrum, and there's the tip. This is the base, and on this one there is the middle. So as you can see, this is pretty interesting. There's a way to like create a infinite lava farm, and the way you do it is you put lava above the dripstone and it'll drip lava into a cauldron, which is another new feature. So yeah, now let's move on to the calcite. This spawns in the amethyst chambers with the amethyst and the tuff, and I think it looks pretty cool. You can kind of see like the texture of the like amethyst on it, and I think it looks pretty nice, and it's a pretty cool colour, kind of like diorite but a bit nicer. We also have the tuff, which I think also looks pretty cool. Quite like the texture, looks very rough, and I think it makes quite a cool thing. Here we have the amethyst, so this is just the block of amethyst, and over here we have the budding amethyst. So they're pretty cool, and we also have the amethyst shard and the Tellus spyglass. So the spyglass works pretty interestingly. As you can see, it's just like Optifine Zoom, but a little bit further, and you can hear sort of like a nice noise coming out of it. I think it's pretty cool, but Optifine Zoom is definitely better, and it has this kind of annoying way where you can't see the edges of the screen, but I still think it looks pretty cool. So the budding amethyst grows the amethyst shards. So when I break these, as you see, it makes a really nice noise, and as you can see, because I've got the tick rate up so high, they grow back straight away. So they go quite fast. As you can see, we've got layers to it, so we've got the small amethyst bud, the medium amethyst bud, the large amethyst bud, and the amethyst cluster. So those are the levels of how they've grown, and I think it looks pretty cool. Here we have just copper ore itself and a copper ingot. All this can be made to do so far is make the copper blocks. So as you can see, looking at the texture, it's got some green around the edges, and I think it looks pretty nice. So here we have the completely normal copper. So as you can see, it looks pretty cool. There's a normal block, and then we've got the like cut copper. So as you can see, that's got stairs and slabs, and this is a lightning rod. So this attracts lightning to it, and I think it gives a redstone signal. So it's pretty cool, really. So we also, that's the normal one. Then we have lightly weathered cut copper, semi-weathered cut copper, and weathered cut copper. So those are the 4 layers. Over time, they begin to like turn into the different ones, and I think it looks pretty cool. Next we have powdered snow. So as you can see, it's in a bucket, and I think it's pretty interesting. So what you do is when you jump into it, you get this sort of like texture around the edge of the screen, and you slowly start to like die. I think this is really interesting and looks pretty cool. I'll just quickly show you another feature. So when you put on leather boots, you can walk across it. So as you can see, normally you just fall right through it, but when you put on leather boots, you are completely fine, and you can just walk fully across it, which is pretty cool, and is definitely a nice feature that makes the leather boots pretty useful. And as you can just see, when you crouch on it, you go through it. So next we have the tinted glass. So this is just a way to like remove light. So if I were to put this all around me, there will be very little light getting in, and it sort of removes light even though you can see through it. So as you can see, it's quite dark in here. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool feature. I'm sure it can be used in a lot of different ways, and I'm very interested in what it could be used for. Next we have candles. So these come in all of the colours, and as you can see, you can put it as 1 cluster, 2 clusters, 3 of them, or 4 of them. And you can also put it on a cake, which I think looks pretty interesting. Next we have some other, just like smaller changes. So we obviously have the bundle. So what I can do with this is if I take all of these items out. So once I've done that, as you can see, I can just left click on it, and it starts to fill up with the items. As you can see, they're not all in one thing, and you can see in the chamber how it looks. If you left click, it will pull out the items, and if you just hold it, oh, what the heck? Okay, well that's a bug, it just deleted itself somehow. That's very interesting. So yeah, and they've also changed the texture on the compass and the clock. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, but another cool feature is the skulk sensor. So this is very interesting, as it gives a like redstone pulse, and it can hear what you're doing. So let's say I move around. As you can see right now, it is picking up the volume from the other people over there. And I think it's pretty interesting, a pretty cool texture. It's obviously revolutionises redstone, and I think it's pretty interesting. The final feature I'd like to cover, I'm pretty sure, at least in this part, is the axolotl. So these are very cute little creatures. I'm going to remove these. So these are very cute little creatures, and as you can see, they come in multiple variants. So there's a pink one, a brown one, a sort of white one, and a yellow one. And there's also another one, which is sort of like purple with like yellow tips on the ends of its things. However, I didn't show that one because it's kind of a bit rarer than the other ones, and it took me absolutely, and I couldn't even get one. It's so rare. So as you can see, you can either get this in an egg or a bucket. When you pick up the buckets, it doesn't actually remember what colour they are, which is kind of annoying, but I assume that bug will be fixed. The way you breed these is using tropical fish. So as you can see, they all want to come over here, and when I breed them, hopefully they do that. So yeah, here they are. I think they're attempting to breed, but I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. So when they breed, they create a cute little baby axolotl. Yep, as you can see. So here it is. This is just a little brown one, I believe, even though neither of the ones breeding are brown. So another strange thing right there, but still very interesting. Oh, and there's another one, I think. Yep, so there's a little pink one. So as you can see, it is very cute. So those are pretty much all of the ones. Now let's have a look at the amethyst cluster and the dripstone caves in action. Okay, so I have just loaded up a world in the 17 even snapshot, and let's get right into how this is looking. So I made it so dripstone's caves do spawn, so hopefully we should be able to find some right now. Okay, right then, let's have a look around, and we should be able to find one very soon. So, oh yeah, look, we can see some of the dripstone right here. So as you can see, they have like the slightly larger stalactites, and then obviously the dripstone itself. So that's all just built up. This is a slightly large cave with it in it. This is probably more similar to how it will actually look, and as you can see, this looks very cool. Right now I think it's just like normal cave generation really, but they've just added in the dripstone. But it's pretty interesting, to be honest, how they've managed to make biomes with like multiple layers. So yeah, now we can have a look at the amethyst clusters. Oh wow, wait, is that okay, wait, let's have a look at this one, because this is a ravine with it. And as you can see, this is really cool. It kind of has glitched out a little bit, I guess, with the generation, but it's very interesting how it's growing from the top. Here we have like a very large like mass of the dripstone block, which is very interesting. So, oh wait, did I just see some copper? I think copper spawns naturally in these caves, but I'm yet to find any. Right then, let's go and find a amethyst geode, as that's sort of the other thing that started spawning naturally. Here's a very small one. So as you can see, it's got a layer of the tuff around the outside, then a layer of the calcite, and then the actual amethyst. So we've got the amethyst thing over here, which the amethyst can actually grow on. So yeah, pretty interesting. Let's try and find another one. I think I saw a bigger one over here a little while ago. Here's like a circular room with it. That's also pretty cool. I quite like how this generates. Oh yeah, here's a bigger one, looks like. So yeah, again you can see the generation. Quite interesting how this bit sort of like goes around it. But this is absolutely huge. I don't know what use amethyst will really have other than crafting it into the what's it called? Spyglass. But yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Definitely a pretty good start, saying that this is like the first snapshot with it in. So yeah, now let's get into some caves which I think should be in the 1.17 update. Okay guys, so these are some of my ideas for caves that could be added inside this update. So obviously we've got a few different variants, there are 7 here, but I expect that there will be many more, especially since they'll most likely be adding new types of stone, as like there are some themed ones of different stone types. So yeah, first of all, let's get into a biome variant. So this is a desert cave. So as you can see in the walls, I've just mixed in smooth sandstone, sand, birch, just normal sandstone, and I think that just makes it look more interesting, but they most likely wouldn't really do that in the actual cave. I've added in streamlights just to light it up, and I've mixed in some terracotta and granite to just make it look more interesting. We've got the stalactites and stalagmites here, so I just made them out of red sandstone, which I think looks pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this, but I've also just put some leaves on the roof just to make it look more interesting and more lush. Here we have a snowy cave. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same. I've just used the stone walls, I've put in some sea lanterns to light it up. However, they melt the ice, so it wasn't that good, so I just put in some lanterns. As you can see, we've mixed in a lot of ice and snow into this build. So I've mixed in all of the 3 types of ice, and I've also put quite a lot of like stone, snow even, into the walls, and obviously I put some concrete in it just to make it stand out a bit more. Spruce leaves are on the ceiling, and I made a sort of skylight using ice, and I think that looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, of course we have the icicles. I think these could probably be a pretty cool feature, maybe work pretty similar to the stalagmites and stalactites, but just a little bit different. And I've used prismarine and the warped wood for that. Next we have a mushroom cave. So I've just used mycelium for this, and obviously they'd be glowing mushrooms, so you've got lots of different colours, as you can see. And I've just mixed in some blocks in the sides. We also have mixed in some acacia wood into the floor, and I just put some dirt on the ceiling along with the mushroom block. Here we have just a sort of nether one. So as you can see, I've just mixed in the nether blocks into the build palette. We've got a warped tree here. And yeah, I think this would probably be a good place to find a ruined portal and other nethery type things, maybe a new way to get into the nether. And we've also got some nice ways of mixing stuff into the walls. Here we have the first stone themed one. So this is like a diorite one. So as you can see, this is not really mainly diorite. I've mixed in bone blocks, polished diorite, and the quartz. So I think that looks pretty cool. As you can see, there's cobwebs. I just thought that made it look more interesting. And we've also got some birch leaves. This could probably just be another variant of the stalactite, so I think it looks pretty cool, and I just lit it up using end rods on the end of those. Here we have another themed one. This is the granite, I believe. So as you can see, I've just pretty much mixed into the walls the terracotta, the granite obviously, the polished granite, and some bricks. This is pretty similar to the other one, obviously making the stalactites again. So yeah, I just mixed in some glowstone into the walls, and yeah, I put some acacia leaves here as well. Here's like an obsidian style cave. So as you can see, it's got a lava pool, and I mixed in some black concrete and warped wood into the walls, just to make it look more interesting and less dark. I also used the shroom lights to sort of make it look like the room was being lit up from like hot rock. So yeah, and I think that's pretty interesting. So yeah, that's all the ideas I came up with. However, there are definitely more interesting ideas that you could use. Obviously, there are going to be lots of new like biomes of completely different mobs that I couldn't even like predict. So yeah. Okay guys, so that's pretty much the video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave your opinions in the comments below, as I really want to hear what you guys want in this update, as I think it's pretty interesting. And what other caves would you like to see? Because these are some like very simple ones, and I know that there are so many more that we could do. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Okay, bye.